Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Football Fallout. This is where I watch every play of every game of every week. Today I'm going to be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs versus Oakland Raiders. This is a division matchup. Kansas City comes into Oakland as the heavy favorites. Oakland came out, and I'll say this, man, it looks like Jay Gruden really gets these guys amped up to play, right? I mean, we saw it in week one when they came out in Denver and they put it on Denver. They came out this week really charged up, amped up, and they just put it on Oakland early. It was 10-0, and I was watching this game and I was thinking, oh, wow, is this the team that I have to start thinking about it? I was thinking, like, is Oakland going to win this game? Well, they didn't. It all went downhill from there. But don't take that as a disparaging remark about the Raiders. It's just the Chiefs are so good. Outside of New England, what we're seeing them do there, I really don't know that there's another team that can even come close to stopping this Chiefs team. They're just so good. Patrick Mahomes, what can you say about the guy? Another 4 touchdowns. Is he ever going to throw for less than 4 touchdowns in a game? I mean, this is like you created a player on Madden, and he's just doing whatever he wants. It's insane. And so when we come into this game, we're like, Tyreek Hill is out. Is it going to be Sammy Watkins? And as anybody who watched the series, this Fantasy Football Fallout last week, I said, Sammy Watkins, physically, he looks great, but you can tell that he's been training. You can tell that he's just ready to go, but he's not going to put up like he did in week one, 200 yards and 3 touchdowns every week. So the big question is, what was the offense going to do really to counteract this thing? And my prediction was McCoy Hardman was going to be used like Tyreek Hill. He was going to be split on the other side, running the over-the-top routes, and Sammy Watkins would be in behind him. Well, I was wrong. I was half wrong on that. McCoy Hardman did indeed. He was used kind of like how I thought he was going to be used. But then you have Robinson. And so when I was looking at this situation last week, I was thinking, well, which one's going to be more favored? Well, both of them had 6 targets. Robinson got in the end zone twice. Hardman should have gotten in the end zone. I don't remember if he dropped a pass in the end zone, his second touchdown, or maybe he caught it and was called back with penalty. I think it was the latter. I think he caught it and was called back. But basically, if you can get your hands on a Chiefs receiver, go get that Chiefs receiver. I'm pretty sure Robinson will be out there unless some savvy owners last week stashed him away. Same with Hardman. Maybe people who read my Fantasy Football Almanac and Draft Guide. I've been pretty high on Hardman because he looks like a little mini Tyreek Hill. I shouldn't say mini because he's actually physically taller in stature. But basically this Chiefs offense, they're not running the ball great right now, but they're passing phenomenally. If you can get your hands on any pass receiver outside of like Blake Bell, the backup tight end, do it. There's really not more I really should be talking your ear off about this point. Travis Kelce had a lot of targets. He's always going to have a lot of targets. This offense is so darn good, even without Tyreek Hill. They just do whatever they want. At running back, let's talk about that, though, for a little bit. LeSean McCoy out-touched Damien Williams. Now, Damien Williams, I think, was a little banged up in the game. We see in the injury report now that LeSean McCoy and Damien Williams are both questionable. What does that mean? There's a rookie running back there you want to be taking an eye or keeping an eye out for. But I tend to think one of the two, if not both, will be in the lineup next week. So, don't waste like a waiver claim on that or anything. I think they'll be fine. But again, let's see how this shakes out over the next day or so in the news. But other than that, LeSean McCoy, he didn't look better. I still think Damien Williams looks better in the running game. When they're healthy, when everything can go, Damien Williams is still going to be the better one. But this is looking more like, instead of maybe like a 70-30 committee, which I was thinking about before, this is looking closer to 60-40, maybe even 50-50, with Damien Williams being utilized more in the passing game. So just kind of keep an eye out there with caution. If you have other starting options, and you have Damien Williams, start looking at some of those other options, especially as he's banged up. Now, on the Raiders side, what did we see? Josh Jacobs, when I was coming into the season, and in my almanac, my big question about Josh Jacobs, it wasn't how he was going to be utilized in the offense, because I know Gruden loves to lean on running backs. I know that. And so I knew he was going to get plenty of opportunity. My concern was, how slow is he? Because he ran kind of like what I would call a poor 40 time for a running back at the combine. Not that that means much. I mean, these guys are running in spandex, so what the hell does that mean, right? But my concern was, is he going to be fast enough to hit the hole in the NFL and go? Well, the good news, bad news. Good news is he is strong. He's very, very powerful. And, I guess there's threefold here. 2, Oakland is, in fact, utilizing him and leaning on him. And 3, he's fast enough to basically get to the second level of the defense. But the kind of bad news here is that he can't run away from defenses. He got loose in the backfield. If it was a guy like Dalvin Cook, that thing was a touchdown. He did get caught up with. And that's what you're going to get. Now, You could say that was similar to maybe Steven Davis for the Redskins back in like the early 2000s. I mean, he was a very, very good running back. He, is going to get goal line carries and all that. I think Josh Jacobs is a fantastic fantasy football running back. I think he's a fantastic NFL running back. He's just not going to get you explosive plays, but who cares? If he's getting you 1-yard touchdown runs consistently, and he's a guy that can move the line of scrimmage, maybe that's even more valuable anyway. So I guess it depends a lot on scoring formats. Do you get more points for explosive plays and all that? But let's be real about this. This is a guy that's going to be used on the goal line, and that's what you want in a running back. So good for Oakland. They got their running back that'll make this offense go. At receiver, Tyrell Williams. Look, they look for him on the goal line, so that's good. There are better receivers out there, but he is the number one receiver in this offense. I think Carr was looking for him a little bit too much. He might have even, I'm kind of forgetting now if he almost had a ball picked or had a ball picked in the end zone trying to get it to Tyrell Williams. I think it was picked off. Just don't force it there. Darren Waller had a lot of targets. He's still making that offense go, but they haven't called his number yet in the goal line. So again, he might even still, because of that, he might even still be involved or available in your waiver wire section in the in your fantasy football league. Pick him up. He's getting a lot of targets. I wouldn't say he's the focal point of this offense. That is Jacobs, but man, he's good. Another guy you want to keep an eye out to is Hunter Renfrow. As Tyrell Williams is going to start to have coverage rolled his way, Renfrow will be thrown to a little bit more. He had 8 targets in this game, 4 receptions. He'll have bigger games, but he's somebody I like. I like other guys in the NFL a little bit better this week for waiver plays. Check out some of the other videos. But if by some miracle Mike Williams for the Chargers is available, you need to pick him up. I like McLaurin, but he's probably gone. I like DJ Chark, who's probably still available in some leagues, in a lot of leagues, I would say. In Jacksonville, Gardner Minshew likes him. But Hunter Renfrow is kind of a more under-the-radar guy who's most likely going to be available in your league. So if you need receiver help, he's somebody you want to be looking for moving forward. But, I would say great job for the Raiders stopping the run for another week. They did well against the Denver running attack. They did well against Kansas City's running attack this week. This Denver's quick. But they're just we saw it in Jacksonville, man. Jacksonville shut down the Houston Texans offense this week at home in Houston. Basically, I should say the Jaguars defense was on the road against the Texans. They shut that offense down, and then Kansas City blew them up, right? So Kansas City's just doing whatever they want in the passing game, no matter who the defense is. So take this one on the chin, Raiders fans. I think this defense is actually really good. They're flying to the ball. I think they're underrated still as a team, and we'll see how that that shakes out going forward. But that takes us through this episode. Please watch another episode. I'm going to have a playlist for Fantasy Football Fallout pop up on your screen. It's going to be in the upper right-hand side, somewhere around here. I have a subscribe, a red button. Hit that button right there, and there's another subscribe up here, so I got them in both corners. So please like, subscribe, comment. We're trying to get to our 1,000 subscribers so that we can continue to grow the channel. We're trying to get as many watches as possible, so if you have some time, check out some of our other playlists, but certainly the Fantasy Football Fallout will be there for you. And I think you'll also like my daily fantasy football and fantasy football projections that I come out with in our weekly previews as well. So check those out. Thanks for watching. See you soon.